Prabhupada Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Ashtotar Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayom Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Ashtotar Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Sri Rupa Shishanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Godhan ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवदीप मायपुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय हरिद्रपुरी धाम की जय गंगामय जमुनामाई की जय श्रीमती तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय जय गौर प्रेमानंद ऑल ग्लोरीज असेंबली ऑल ग्लोरीज असेंबली ऑल ग्लोरीज असेंबली ऑल ग्लोरीज ऑल ग्लोरीज श्री गुरु श्री गौरांग. You don't have second canto?
No.
They don't have second canto. What is going on? Huh?
I got it on my phone.
Yeah, bring it on your phone. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So, we will be reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 1, text 11.
Which chapter, Maharaj? Chapter 11.
No, chapter 1.
1, yeah, second chapter. Not Kapila preaching.
No. The second canto.
Yeah, the second.
No, part 1.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay. So written. No problem. So this is the second canto, chapter 1, text 11. The title of the chapter is The First Step in God Realization. So I will just read the Sanskrit because it's not on the board. So bear with me. Etam nirvidhyayamananam vichhatam akuto bhayam yoginam nirnitam Hare Namanukam Kirtanam. Word by word translation. Eta, it is. Nirvidyayamanam, of those who are completely free from all material desires. Ichhatam, of those who are desirous of all sorts of material.
Chapter 11?
No, chapter 1.
Okay.
Text 11. Ichhatam, of those who are desirous of all sorts of material enjoyment. Akuta bhayam, free from all doubts and fear. Yoginam, of all who are self-satisfied. Nirpa, O King. Niritam, decided truth. Hare, of the Lord Sri Krishna. Sorry, of Lord Sri Krishna's name. Namanu, after someone, always. Kirtanam, chanting. Translation in purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way to success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of material enjoyment, and also for those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. Purport by Divine Grace. In the previous verse, the great necessity for attaining attachment to Mukunda has been accredited. There are different types of persons who desire to attain success in different varieties of pursuits. Generally, the persons are materialists who desire to enjoy the full extent of material gratification. Next to them are the transcendentalists who have attained perfect knowledge about the nature of material enjoyment and thus are aloof from such an illusionary way of life. More or less, they are satisfied in themselves by self-realization. Above them all are the devotees of the Lord, who are neither aspiring to enjoy the material world nor desire to get out of it. They are after the satisfaction of Lord Sri Krishna. In other words, the devotees of the Lord do not want anything on their personal account. If the Lord desires, the devotee can accept all sorts of material facilities. And if the Lord does not desire, the devotee can leave aside all sorts of facilities, even up to the limit of salvation. Nor are they self-satisfied, because they want the satisfaction of the Lord only. In this verse, Sri Sukadeva Goswami recommends the transcendental chanting of the holy name of the Lord. By offenseless chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, one becomes acquainted with the transcendental form of the Lord, and then with the attributes of the Lord, and then with the transcendental nature of his pastime, etc. Here it is mentioned that one should constantly chant the holy name of the Lord after hearing it from authority. This means hearing from the authority is the first essential. Hearing the holy name gradually promotes one to the stage of hearing about the form and so on, about his attributes, his pastime, etc. And thus the necessity of chanting his glories develops successively. The process is recommended not only for a successful execution of devotional service, but also even for those who are materially attached. According to Sri Sukadeva Goswami, the ways of attaining success is an established fact, concluded not only by him, but also by all other previous acharyas. Therefore, there is no need of further evidence. The process is recommended not only for the progressive student in different departments of ideological success, but also for those who are already successful in their achievement as fruity workers, as philosophers, or as devotees of the Lord. Jiva Goswami instructs that the chanting of the holy name of the Lord should be done loudly, and it should be performed offensively as well as it is recommended in the Padma Purana. One can deliver himself from the effects of all sins by surrendering himself unto the Lord. One can deliver himself from all offenses at the feet of the holy name by taking shelter of his holy name. But one cannot protect himself if one commits offense at the feet of the holy name of the Lord. Such offenses are mentioned in the Padma Purana as being 10 in number. Om Jnana Tinasya Jnana Jnana Salakaya Chakshurudina Yena Tasmai Gurue Namaha Vajja Kalpa Guruyasya Pumatim Guruyasya Praditana Pavdejo Vaishnavyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Vyasa Sadhara Divasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this chapter is entitled The First Step in God Realization. So here a very important aspect is given for achieving any success in one's endeavor. Now generally we find that in the animal kingdom, they are not aspiring for any success. As Srila Prabhupada explained, the rain is louder than everyone else. This is some kirtan now. So I am very excited. So as Prabhupada explained, that in the animal kingdom, they have no aspiration to anything except for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But as a human form, we have many aspirations. Now here Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning that it can be something material, it can be something, trying to understand God and His creation and the cosmos, or you become transcendental as a devotee, a bhakta of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, you will get to know more about the Supreme Lord Himself. But here, everything is included in this chanting the holy name. One has to chant the holy name of the Lord, which will give you all success. It's very interesting that in the Purport Prabhupada said, even if you are desirous of material gain, you still chant the holy name, take share with the holy name. So that is the only way. And it is also interesting, the Purport Prabhupada said, that not only Sukadeva Goswami is saying that, but all the previous acharyas. So it doesn't mean the acharyas who came after Sukadeva Goswami, but acharyas who came before Sukadeva Goswami. And the way which is given by, which we have shown, the only way is the holy name. And of course, in this day and age, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has brought the holy name. Goloka Prema Dhana, Harinam Sankirtan. For the spiritual world, Goloka, the Prema Dhana, the wealth of love has come to form Harinam Sankirtan. And this Harinam Sankirtan specifically established by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we are very fortunate that after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his very intimate associate with his Goswami, were preaching the same message, and then many successive great acharyas came in that line. Until 1965, when his Divine Grace A.C. Swami Prabhupada, on the order of his spiritual master, took up this very serious message to uplift mankind. And he left the comforts of Vrindavan at the ripe age of 70. What was his purpose? Some material gain, some fame, gain, wealth. He didn't want anything. Because it is explained in the Shastra, one who has captured the heart of Krishna, he doesn't need anything. And as also the Purport Prabhupada says, that even by the desire of the Supreme Lord, of the will of the Supreme Lord, He may give you unlimited opulence in this material world. Or He may give you nothing. But the devotee is not disturbed by neither. So we know Srila Prabhupada, when he went to America, he had nothing. But he was not fearful. Because he said, one who is devoted to the Lord, who is taking care of the holy name, he is fearless. This is one important aspect for us in practicing devotee. And I underline practicing devotee, because we have to become devotees here. Just by shaving our head, putting tilak on the forehead, and keeping your hand in japamala doesn't make us devotee. What makes us devotee is that 24/7 our mind and our heart are thinking, how I can use Krishna. So even in the Purport Prabhupada said, that the devotee is not satisfied by doing this process of bhakti, chanting and serving the Lord, but he is only satisfied when the Lord is satisfied. So his only desire is that I want to please the Lord. There's nothing else I want. My own personal satisfaction, my personal happiness is irrelevant. But even at the great calamities and distress come upon me, I'm okay. But I want to please the Lord. And by giving the great calamity to myself, the Lord is happy, and I'm happy. So we should think like that. Then you are actually on the highest level of devotional level when you are a bhakta. Of course, when you Bhakti John, Bhakti Devi, Bhakti this, Bhakti that, Bhakti this, Bhakti that. But we are not bhaktas. But the title bhakta means very highly elevated personality. And we know one great bhakta, Bhakta Prahlad. We address Prahlad Maharaj as Bhakta Prahlad. It is a very, very highly elevated title. So when we address all this bhakta, we acknowledge that this person is now going to develop those qualities like Prahlad Maharaj and raise himself to the highest platform simply for the satisfaction of the Lord. So here in this chapter, it's very nicely given the personal bhakti for us. At the same time, Sukadeva Goswami says that if you want something material, you desire some material wealth, material fame, education, whatever you want, give. Bottom line is that you must take shelter in the holy name of the Lord. When you take shelter of the holy name of the Lord, then everything will come. The traditional picture here, as the Lord directed is that when you start chanting the holy name of the Lord, and all those original desires, name, fame, gain, wealth, beauty, becomes tasteless, becomes not worth anything. Because the powerful potency of the holy name is such that it will connect you directly to the Supreme Lord. And when you connect to the Supreme Lord, then actually there's no desire for anything. It's like Guru Maharaj. When Guru Maharaj was desired to speak on the lap of his father, and his father was very, very happy. They say, this is my son. And any father would welcome his son because he loves his son. Now, unfortunately for Guru Maharaj, he was the son of the co-wife. So he had another cousin. And that wife told Guru Maharaj that you can only speak on the left of your father if you take what to my book, not to me. So, Guru Maharaj, a young boy, 5-year-old, thinking, what is this God and where I take birth from? This in our own experience, and some say you are a 5-year-old kid. Did we have any knowledge of this thing? No, we were just little tiny entities caught up in a 5-year-old body, have the desires of a 5-year-old. What are the desires of a 5-year-old boy? Play and eat, enjoy some loving affection from the father and the mother. So Guru Maharaj went to his mother and asked his mother, my dear mother, I have been told by my stepmother that I have to take birth in her womb. Then only I can sit on the lap of my father and enjoy the affection of my father. So how can I do that, mother? And Suniti says, only God can help you. So now Guru Maharaj is thinking, if God can help me, and where is this God? So of course the mother says, very innocent. Most sages, they go to the forest, they find God there. So Guru Maharaj was thinking, okay, forest it is. Now remember, Guru Maharaj is brought up in the protection of the palace of God, and all the finery and luxuries of the palace. Now to go into the forest as a young boy, a 5-year-old boy, it is a very dangerous and hazardous journey. Of course, we have seen some of this in Nairobi National Park. We were in the protection of a vehicle. But as soon as you step out, what would happen? The lions would come and attack you, and you would need, lunch for them. So it's a very fearful position. So Guru Maharaj was thinking, no matter what, I am going to find this God. He questioned me. Why you have created this kind of disparity? That if I don't take birth from this place, I cannot get this, and if I take birth from this place, I only get this. What is nonsense with creation you have done? So he was challenging God to ask him all these things. So he wanted to go out into the forest. He tried to go to the forest during the day, and the God stopped him from going. Because the order is to protect him. So he could not go. So he waited till the dead of night, when everybody is asleep. So he then went, dead of night. But still there was night security guard who prevented him from going. So Dhruva Maharaj very quickly used his authority. He said, "You are my servant. I am the prince. You follow my orders. I don't follow your orders. So my order is for you to get out and open the gates of the palace and let me out." Because Dhruva Maharaj is not an ordinary boy. He's the son of a king, he's a prince, and he's a Kshatriya. So he had a Kshatriya nature in him. So he said, "Out of my way." And then he went into the deep forest. As he was going into the forest, his meditation was, "Where is this God? Where is this God?" And he's trying to find God. Now, of course, we all know from Srila Prabhupada's teachings that whenever you make an inquiry that I want to know the Supreme Lord, whether it's for material things or for spiritual gain, it's irrelevant. The Lord in the heart will hear your prayer. That Paramatma in the heart of Dhruva Maharaj is thinking, this young boy is constantly saying, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?" I must show him a way to find him. So sometimes the Lord comes directly by himself, or sometimes he sends his empowered personality. So here, he is sending Narada Muni. And Narada Muni appears in front of Dhruva Maharaj. And Narada Muni, in his full beauty with his veena, said, "My dear boy, where are you going?" He said, "I am going in the forest to look for God." And Narada Muni says, "You are a young boy. You have the whole life in front of you. Why you want to go into the forest? It's dangerous there. Wild animals. There's no comforts of your palace there. Who will feed you and who will clean you?" And all these sort of questions Narada Muni is putting. Dhruva Maharaj then said, "With great respect, my dear Rishi, I have great respect for you, but if you are not going to show me where God is, get out of my way. I need to go and find God. And I'm not going to stop until I find this God." So Narada Muni is thinking, this boy is so determined. That the concept in this understanding or teaching we can take from this is the spiritual master is testing the disciple. Is this sincerely seeking the shelter of the holy name and the Lord, or is just frivolous? So the spiritual master will first of all make sure that the potential disciple is very serious in spiritual endeavor. Then only then he will give shelter. Just like Prabhupada says in his teachings of Rishabh, "Guru nasasya, pita nasasya, janana nasasya." You have no right to be a father, mother, or a guru if you cannot deliver your dependence. So here Narada Muni is thinking, if I am going to accept this boy and instruct him in the science of self-realization, then it is my duty to make sure that he is qualified, not just willy-nilly, any people come and just ask for, frivolous questions and answers for their personal self-satisfaction. So Dhruva Maharaj is very, very sincere in his determination. However, he did not want to see this Supreme Personality of Godhead for any other reason than just to question him. Why is this disparity in your world you have created? Because of course we all hear from very childhood, God is all perfect and His creation is all perfect. And therefore, there should be perfection in this world. There should be no disparity or any favorism. Everybody should equally be blessed by the Lord's mercy and His creation. So Dhruva Maharaj was very, very, very staunchly, determined in his heart. So he tells Narada, move out of my way with great respect, but I am on a mission here. So Narada Muni then sees this very sincere determination of this young boy. He says, okay, I will show you how to get God. He said, no, become very peaceful. And then with great respect in your heart, you address the Supreme Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he initiated Dhruva Maharaj with this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So of course, we are recommended in this purport that we chant the holy name, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the Hare Krishna mantra. But in Satya Yoga, the mantra, the Yuga mantra was Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Dhruva Maharaj is now initiated in this mantra and instructed how to chant this mantra and in what state of mind one should chant. So he says, go first of all into the forest and find yourself a very nice and peaceful, calming place under a banyan tree. You sit there and you chant this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Guru Maharaj took this instruction very seriously and he went there. And he sat down and he looked around for a nice place. So where he was sitting, there was a nice river flowing. So necessity for quenching his thirst and bathing is provided by the nature's arrangement in the fresh river. He's sitting under the tree and there are many wild fruits growing around. Necessity for eating is also there. So eating is taken care of, bathing and cleaning is taken care of, the thirst is taken care of. So now you say everything is there within my reach. Okay, so he sat down, he started chanting. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He's chanting. And he said, okay. Narada said, if I chant this mantra, I will see God face to face. He's chanting. And then I don't see God. I've been chanting from morning till evening. Where is this God? He said, okay, I will continue chanting. So first thing he gave up was his sleep. He said, I'm not going to sleep until I see God. So his determination is there. He keeps chanting and chanting and chanting. Next morning he's feeling a little peckish. He needs to take a little refreshment because after you eat sometimes, the necessity is that you have to cleanse your bowels. So he went in there the necessity, then he took a dip in the river and cleansed himself and drank some water. Now he said, okay, I've done the necessity requirement. So they said, there's two things you can never say no to, even if you are want to. One is nature's call. When nature calls, you have to go and relieve yourself. Otherwise, you will soil yourself. And second, when death approaches you, you cannot say no to death. So Dhruva Maharaj was Jai Shri So Dhruva Maharaj was now in a frame of mind that come what may, I'm going to not sleep. But necessities are necessities. You have to relieve yourself and quench your thirst. He sat back after all this and started chanting. And after some time, like all of us also, we perform tapasya on Ekadashi. We are fasting. And some of us are very, very strictly observing the Ekadashi vow. We fast totally until the next day when the breakfast is, and then we break our fast. But some of us are not so staunch and very determined. So we kind of eat Ekadashi prasada, non-grains. But even then, we are kind of following a little bit of austerity, so we have to wait till lunchtime, usually 1 o'clock. So from morning till 1, we wait, and then 1 o'clock, okay, I'm hungry, let's go and eat some Ekadashi. I'm not breaking my Ekadashi vow, but at least, you have in Africa, you have the luxury of the cassava root and plantains and sweet potatoes. And now all over the world you can get this. So we are eating more on Ekadashi than in a normal day. Now, when you say Ekadashi, means we are servant. Dasi means servant. But in Gujarati we say Agyaras. So the Gujarati people are very clever. They use the language. Agyaras means 11 rasas. So 11 different types of food stuff you can eat. This is abusing the Lord's mercy here. Right? But anyway, we are not discussing that right now. But the point is that we cannot show Dhruva Maharaj also a young boy, So he's thinking, okay, I'm feeling a little peckish. So he goes around, looks for some fruits and berries. He consumes that and says, okay, now that I've satisfied my hunger, I'll sit down again and continue chanting. So he continues chanting. And this went on for some time. And he's doing this for so long. Now remember, he's a 5-year-old boy. So even like 2 days, 3 days seems very long. Then, it's not like, why just in 2-3 days? Every moment seems longer and longer and longer. So he kept on doing that, and eventually he was thinking, I'm wasting my time here because every time I go and I relieve myself, because I eat, so I'm going to stop eating. If I don't eat, then I don't have to relieve myself. And if I don't waste my time, then I can chant more and fulfill the instructions of Narada Muni. So he had full faith in Narada Muni that what he has instructed, that if you you follow this, you will definitely see the Lord face to face. So here he is, and then he is saying, I will now reduce everything to the point. I've done a story short, because time is our precious. So Dhruva Maharaj finally said, I will not even breathe, because every time I take a deep breath, I cannot say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So all of us can also experience that. When you are breathing in, you cannot speak. So Dhruva Maharaj said, I will not even breathe. I will just focus on the holy name. So he is focusing. And as he is focusing and doing with severe austerities and penance, by that he was choking the whole universe. And the whole universe is choked because of Dhruva's severe austerities or stopping breathing. The demigods were worried now. What's going on? It's chaos. Immediately they run to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, we have some serious business of mismanagement going on here. People can't breathe, just like now, with so much pollution. We are trying to put, reduce the carbon print and make air so that we can breathe properly. Anyway, so all these things are happening, and Lord Brahma says, I cannot do anything. But my master can do. They go on the shores of the ocean and fall down and pray to Lord Vishnu who is lying on the fresh ocean. And Lord, there is this devotee of yours, is crying for you. And because of his severe austerities, the whole universe is choking. He cannot breathe. Please go and see him so that we can have our life back to normality. So Lord Vishnu says, okay, no problem. So after 6 months of severe austerities, Lord Vishnu appears in front of Dhruva Maharaj. Very beautiful, effulgent form of the Lord. As soon as Dhruva Maharaj sees this beautiful form, he fell at the lotus feet of the Lord. And he felt somewhat unconscious by the beauty. He was overwhelmed by it. And finally, after some moments, he comes back to his consciousness and looks at the Lord. And he's still in awe and reverence and completely like, oh, what is this I'm saying? And he could not say a word. And finally the Lord understands his heart. He touches his head, forehead with the conch shell. And immediately the mercy of the Lord is upon Dhruva Maharaj. And he's vibrating beautiful poetic words in glorification of the Lord. Because if you want to know that the glorification of Dhruva Maharaj of the Supreme Lord, you have to read Bhagavatam. So the point is that Dhruva Maharaj is now flowing with poetic glorification of the Lord. And the Lord says, okay, very nice. Now Dhruva Maharaj, let's get into business here. What is the purpose for you invoking me to come and see you? And Dhruva Maharaj says, now that I've seen you, Lord, I don't want anything. I only want you. This is the effect of the Lord. So of course, in Kali Yuga, we are not so fortunate to see the Lord manifest himself first in front of us in his Chaturbuj form, or as Lord Krishna is being down. But he manifests himself in a beautiful deity form. So Srila Prabhupada explains that this Lord, the deity form of the Lord, until the day we do the installation ceremony, which is called the Prana Pratishtha, where the prana is established in the deities, it's just stone. But the day we do Prana Pratishtha, the installation, and invoke the Lord's mercy by the pure devotee, to request him, the dear Lord, we are so bereaved of you in this Kali Yuga, kindly come and manifest yourself in these forms and allow us to see you and worship you. Then the Lord agrees by the calling of his pure devotee. The Prabhupada explains that the deity is not different from the Lord himself. Now we see the deity every day. Do we have the same impact as Dhruva Maharaj? None of us. We still have so many desires. That every day we went, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Chanting holy names. Is our desire increasing or decreasing? I would say, generally speaking, is increasing. It's not decreasing. But here, Dhruva Maharaj, he has given up everything now. Eating, sleeping, and he's focused on the Lord, and the Lord is asking, now what do you want, Dhruva? Because you came here for a purpose. You came you're here with a mission in your heart. Let me have that. And the Dhruva Maharaj is saying that now that I've seen you, I have nothing. It's all gone, finished. I just want to be with you. Of Because the Lord says, that is very, very true, but I have a mission for you to perform. So you have to do this certain service for me. So he entrusted Guru Maharaj to then inherit the kingdom of his father and rule the planet. But the Lord knows what is in your heart. That you came here, that you wanted a kingdom that is greater than your grandfather. And who is the grandfather of Guru Maharaj? Anyone? Lord Brahma, not Brahma, Lord Brahma. We have to take his name with reverence. If he says, hey Brahma, then it's like, lowering his status, Lord Brahma. So, and the planet Lord Brahma is very high up. And the Lord cannot give Lord Brahma's planet to Dhruva Maharaj, because that belongs to Brahma. Unless at some future reincarnation of Dhruva Maharaj, he is blessed to become Brahma, then maybe he can get. So the closest thing which the Lord can give to Brahma Loka is Dhruva Loka, or the pole star. It is just on the border of material creation and spiritual creation. So Lord blessed him with that, and then he was ruling. Point is that the Lord, when we desire him, the power and potency of the Lord is such through his holy name that all the desires vanquishes from our heart. So we have to abide by the proper rules, regulations, guidance given to us by the spiritual master. Now, when the spiritual master, when he sets a disciple, he instructs the disciple that first and foremost, you have to follow the four regulating principles, which are the pillars of purity. Anyone? What are the four principles? Let's have it. No meat. Of course, means no animal consumption or their byproducts. No gambling. No gambling. Now, generally, when we say no gambling, we think going to the casino and putting a shilling or a pound or a euro and hoping that you will get a great return. So buying the national lottery and thinking, I'll become a millionaire. No, that is low level of gambling. Prabhupada gives a definition of gambling is no frivolous activities, no time wasting. Boys, no football. So, it's frivolous activities. No gambling, no meat, fish, or eggs. Third, okay, no form of any gratification of the body with the opposite sex or same time. These days there is all this nonsense going on. And the fourth one, intoxication of any sort. So these are the four purification which first established. Then what is the next instruction? That we chant the holy name of the Lord. Now we are not capable of chanting the holy name constantly 24/7 like Dhruva Maharaj. So the Lord, out of his kindness, instructs his pure devotees that I will leave it at your discretion. The pure devotee, he sees and surveys the universe and says, the condition of the Kali Yuga humans is terrible. They cannot maintain this. So he brings it down to a minimum level. So by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, he brought down the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. He says at least minimum 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra. So we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, follow the four regular principles. Then when we begin to follow the four regular principles, purity begins to come in, instill in our heart. When our heart is becoming pure, then our chanting becomes more pure. As chanting becomes more pure, automatically that intense desire in the heart is invoked. Of what? To serve the Lord. And when you serve the Lord, then you connect with the Lord through your chanting. Now here in this purport, I didn't go further away, because time is spent, but nonetheless, Jiva Goswami is cited by Prabhupada in the purport that he is quoting Padma Purana, where there are 10 offenses against the holy name of the Lord, which we should be mindful of. So these are very important aspects, that we are very, very mindful of 10 offenses against the holy name of the Lord. Because if you commit offense against the Supreme Lord himself, He is compassionate and he says, okay, these are ignorant souls. They do not know better. So they may commit some kind of offense. Okay, you are forgiven. But when you commit offense against the holy name, then you are in trouble. Because the holy name is so wonderful that it can fulfill all your material desires or fulfill all your spiritual desires. But the holy name will not tolerate any offense. So these 10 offenses are given us as guidelines to protect ourselves from performing these offenses, so that the effect of the holy name takes full impact on our hearts, and then thereby we are fully engaged in the spirit of devotion. Because only through devotion, when we can connect and understand the Lord, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktyama abhijananti. If you want to know the Lord, then it's only through bhakti. And when you get to know the Lord, what happens? There is a relationship. Just like in material world, if you get to know two people, and there is interaction with two people, so how the interaction happens? To the mood of service for each other. So when we do service, then each other is happy. I do service for you, you do service for me, so we are very happy. So, but that only happens when you get to know each other. You just can't go on a street and pick up a random guy and say, hey, my friend, come, I want to render some service to you. You'll probably think, what the hell are you talking about? Have you lost your marbles or something? But if you get to know him, then you develop some relationship. And to the relationship, the serving attitude comes. So, to know the Lord is through the holy name. And when we get to know the Lord, then of course that intensity increases more and more and more. Till the last breath, we're only thinking of Krishna. Now this was shown to us by his personal example, Srila Prabhupada. That even though in Vrindavan in 1977, in the month of November, he was on his last phase in this material world, what did he say? God, my body is finished. And I cannot handle this anymore. I'm going to take a break from everything. Then he died peacefully. Because the Kaviraj who came to see Prabhupada, and many doctors also came to see Prabhupada, of course they could not do anything for them. Only Krishna can do anything if he wants. So the doctors and the Kaviraj were saying, any person who is in this situation who is screaming with pain cannot tolerate the pain in the body. Now in the hospitals, when someone is in this kind of condition, they pump you with so much morphine and all kinds of drugs to kind of induce what we call medical comatose. So you don't feel the pain till you die. But here Prabhupada is sitting there and fully absorbed in kirtan by the devotees. Then he said, okay, now bring the dictaphone. And I would tell one of his disciples, read the Sanskrit words from the 10th canto, and Prabhupada is translating. And he's still engaged in devotional service. Prabhupada said, well, I've done my bit. That's it. I'm not going to do anymore. Live somewhere else. No, Prabhupada still last breath. So he's showing by his example that when you develop that intense love for the Supreme Lord, you want to serve Him every moment, every waking moment. You're thinking, how I can serve the Lord. Because the devotee, when he develops this mindset that I want to just serve the Lord, then he is doing this for the pleasure of the Lord. Now this I say many times also to devotees, that when we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra and when we come to Krishna consciousness, what is our original desire? Anyone? Why did we come to become a devotee of Krishna?
Become happy.
Happy?
So, stress, free from stress.
Free from stress?
Go back home, that's
That is the point. After understanding the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna is explaining that this human birth is very rare. After many thousands of births you get a human birth, and only in the human birth you can inquire about the Supreme Lord and understand the Supreme Lord. And ultimately Krishna is saying that when your consciousness is properly situated, then surely at the time of death you will come to me. Otherwise, yam vapiswaram bhavam, whatever your consciousness is, whatever desires are, that will take you to next life. So ultimately, first and foremost thing what we understand is that we are suffering in this material world. And Sankirtan devotee will come and say, hey, my friend, you are suffering. Guess what? I have got a book that will free you from your suffering. Not only in this birth, but you will be saved from birth after birth after birth. It's no more repeated birth. So, you will take the book and then we read and say, yeah, this makes sense. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, when he was praying, where is God? Where is God? So all of us, at some stage in our life, whether you are born in northern hemisphere, eastern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, wherever on this planet Earth, as long as you have a human body, some stage you will come to a point of distress and say, God, I am suffering. Show me a way out of this. Then the Paramatma has said, you are asking a question to me? Now that you have approached me, I am duty bound to come forward. So, all of us, we came to Krishna consciousness on the basis of understanding, I want to be happy, as Ekachaka Prabhu says, or David says, be free from distress. Venugopal says, go back home, back to Godhead. So ultimately, we want to go back to spiritual world. And that is why we render the service to the Lord, we perform austerities even though we don't like, but we still think it is good for us. And we kind of check along, but what is our motivation? I want to go back home. I don't want to take another birth again in this material world. Now, what is Krishna saying? That is very good thinking, but I am not interested. Because by the teachings of His Divine Grace, Iskcon Swami Srila Prabhupada, he says, we have to engage in principle devotional service. Krishna says, Bhaktya Mam Avijanam. Bhaktya means pure devotional service, rendered unto the Supreme Lord. And what is devotional service? As Rupa Goswami himself says in Nectar of Devotion, devotional service is unmotivated, uncontaminated, pure. No motivation, but we have a motivation. No more repeated birth. Want to go back to Godhead. This is our motivation. But what is in the purport to this verse 11 in the second chapter, first chapter is saying that we have to serve the Lord for His satisfaction. And the devotee is not satisfied if He is satisfied. But His satisfaction is dependent on the Lord being satisfied. If the Lord is satisfied, then He becomes satisfied. So our business is to satisfy the Lord. So every moment, any service we render, the chanting we do, the prayers we offer, all these things are meant for what purpose? To satisfy the Lord. When the Lord is satisfied, then we automatically become satisfied. As the example given by Prabhupada, that the banyan tree is such a huge tree with millions of branches and leaves and flowers and so many things on the tree. And you go and water every single aspect of the plant is not going to be satisfied. But you just put water to the roots, then the whole tree, no matter how big and wide it is spread, every single aspect of the tree will be nourished and satisfied by the watering of the root. So who is the root for us? It's Krishna. So we satisfy Krishna, then every aspect of our life is taken care of. And then of course Krishna gives so many facilities to us. But Krishna will only give these facilities to us unless until we become purely situated. Because when He gives you facilities, Krishna knows that whatever I give you in terms of opulence and facilities, everything under the sky, you will never use anything for yourself, but simply serving the Lord. So that is our basis, that we serve the Lord and make Him happy. And if He is happy, then everybody is happy. So this is the secret of becoming happy, really, to make Krishna happy. And every aspect, or whatever we do, when we become spiritually awakened and take shelter in Krishna consciousness and take initiation from the spiritual master, who is then going to guide us and instruct us. Now, of course, the spiritual master doesn't give some frivolous instructions through his mental speculation, but he is simply repeating what is coming down in the parampara. And as long as it is coming down in parampara, then you will reach your destination without fail. No. So sometimes we get in this mindset, well, he's not a Mahabhagavad, he's not an Uttama Adhikari. So his guidance, instruction may not be perfect. But if he is speaking the truth, which is been spoken by the previous acharyas, then it is very that instruction or the instruction or guidance comes from that person is perfect. And this example I would give, that there is a random guy in the street. He is kind of not a spiritually enlightened person, what I call generally a bum, who doesn't care for anything. He is dressed in very, very dirty clothes because he doesn't have money or anything, and he is basically he's a destitute. But you are lost. You say, excuse me, sir, can you tell me this address? I want to go to this place. So because he's familiar with the surroundings, he says, yes, no problem. You go down the road, after half a mile you turn left, and then you go straight down again for 100 meters, and right on the right hand side, you will find this address. Now this guy, by looks, you go by the looks, is not a very, you can say, a person who knows higher knowledge. But because he is from the locality, he knows the area. So even though he is not rightly situated, but the instruction he is giving you, the guidance to your destination, you will reach there without fear. So that's why Prabhupada said, a devotee's business is to not speculate or concoct anything, but just repeat what you read in the scriptures or what has come down in the Quran. As long as you repeat that, then your repetition of the knowledge which you are imparting is perfect. There is no contamination. The transcendental truth cannot be contaminated by mundane environment. It still remains pure, just like gold. Prabhupada said, you take a piece of gold and you put it in the filthy stool. The stool is contaminated, but the gold doesn't get contaminated. You take it out, wash it with water, and it's still pure. It still maintains its purity. So similarly, transcendental knowledge is pure, it maintains its purity. And the impact of the transcendental knowledge is also pure. So sometimes, when we get into this mindset, maybe he's not qualified to, give me, I'm going to look for Mahabharata. You're going to get in trouble because you're not going to find a Mahabharata. They're not just, willy-nilly, on the beach. You go on the beach and you find these pebbles which look like, shining rocks. Wow, diamond. You won't find. So one of the first offense is what? What is the first offense against the holy name of the Lord? To blaspheme the devotees? Okay. So any devotee who is preaching the Lord's name, if you consider him any lesser, then there is blasphemy. We think that he may do aparat against someone very senior or someone who is very highly placed bhakta or devotee. That is aparat. But amongst our peers and our juniors, he's a new bhakta. He's a devotee of the Lord. The Lord doesn't look at the person according to his advancement. He says, here is my devotee. He has approached me. So the Lord will look at this person individually as a devotee of his. Right now, if suppose 100 people walk into this temple room, and some are very educated, some are not educated, some are very rich, some are poor. And the Lord will say, well, this category is rich, so I will get good donation from them. I will give them special mercy. This guy is poor, put him on the side. And this guy is educated, his knowledge, let him come forward. And this uneducated, let him go to the back. He will not understand this message. No. The Lord sees everyone equally, that he is my devotee. So therefore we have to be very, very mindful. We do not commit any offense against anyone. In fact, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes very further than that. He says, Trinada Vishnuchana, Karora Vishnuchana, Amanina, Amanidena Kirtana Sada. Becoming humble, okay. Becoming tolerant, okay. Becoming free of false ego, okay. But the fourth one, Amanina, Amanidena Kirtana Sada. One must not expect any respect. But one must give respect unto all others. Prabhupada translates unto all others. Amanina, Manidena means that Prabhupada gives a very specific to all others. Means it's not a particular category. He said everyone you must show respect. And Ishopanishad also mentions that one who sees the universe as part and parcel of the Lord's creation and not separate from the Lord, then he has respect for animate and inanimate objects. So animate means living entities, inanimate means stones and soil, whatever it is which is not animated. But you see there is no life. But that also we respect. So we have to develop this very high level of honor and respect for Lord and His creation. Then we will have a very successful journey in our devotional practice. And very quickly you will develop that intense attachment for the Lord. So much so that when you see the Lord in your heart, He will manifest and you will give up all desires in the material world. You will have nothing but the Lord. And when you reach that stage, then Prabhupada says, it doesn't matter whether you are in the material world or in the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world you are with Krishna, in the material world you are also with Krishna. And if you are in the material world you are with Krishna, you will not suffer. It is our just perception that in the material world there is suffering. That is because we identify with the body and its aspects. But if you are in the material world and fully Krishna conscious, then you are with Krishna. If you are with Krishna, then there is no suffering, only pleasure and happiness. So on that note, I will stop. I will make any comments or any questions. Yes, sure.
Sure. Thank you for the class. You mentioned earlier about gambling and its relation to frivolous activity. Couldn't make the connection.
You see, gambling means what? A chance. Take a chance. You will get something for nothing basically. Like, suppose you buy a lottery ticket, which is say £1, and it says jackpot, 10 million. So you go and buy a lottery ticket, thinking it's just £1, but I'll get 1 million. That is a chance. So gambling basically, in a more defined way, is taking a chance. So when Prabhupada says that when you engage in frivolous activities, you're taking a chance. That is what gambling means. Because if I say engage in some frivolous activities, I don't remember Krishna. Because I'm remembering whatever frivolous activities I am partaking in. So the moment you are in the frivolous activities, you don't remember Krishna. At that moment death comes, what happens? Yam yam vapi smaram bhav. Your consciousness in the frivolous activities, and that will decide your further journey down the road. So every moment we have to be conscious. So we have to be very, very, mindful that we do not waste our time in any frivolous activities. Therefore, we have to engage in devotional principles. Now, the beauty of devotional activities is so nice that Rupa Goswami is saying that everything that is connected with Krishna is devotional service. So suppose I'm a musician and I have to play a flute. So I play the flute and say, I'm playing this for Krishna's pleasure. But otherwise, if I'm just playing flute for my own personal gratification, it is gambling. But I say, no, I'll be in the kirtan and play the flute and play nice melodious flute, so it will please Krishna. Even his mundane activity becomes transcendental. So whatever the situation in the material world is, as soon as you connect it with Krishna, it becomes transcendental and devotional. Anything without Krishna. Now of course I don't say that, you go and say, well boys, let's go, we have some free time, let's play football, but we'll play football for Krishna. That is not devotional service, because it has to be intellectually done, that whatever we do, it has to have something which will please Krishna. And we connect with Krishna. It will be beneficial in terms of serving Krishna. And this is what Prabhupada is very categorically saying, no frivolous activities. Don't waste time. Because every moment it goes past, you cannot retrieve it. And time is very precious. It's ticking away, tick, 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 tick. And you miss the moment. And this is, all your life you remember me, but in the last moment you're thinking about football. Then what happens? Yeah, you take birth in some Premier League somewhere in Europe, chasing the ball. You may get money, fame, but you're not going to get Krishna Prema either. So basically, my point is that we learn from the great acharyas. So for example, the Goswamis, when they were sent to Vrindavan by the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what did they do there? They were thinking, well, you know, hey Rupa, hey Sanatana, hey Jiva, come on, let's play ball. No, they were intensely meditating on the Lord, and they're focused. And they are teaching us by their own example how we should. Even Prabhupada, you see, Srila Prabhupada. Did you see Prabhupada engage in any activities which is not connected, focused directly? Either he's translating the books, or he's preaching, or he's thinking of how to expand the mission. It's always, or his individual personal training to his disciples. He's focused. Prabhupada said, well, you know, I'm feeling a little relaxing. Let me go to the beach and lie down on the beach and, you know, just space out. No, Prabhupada didn't do that. So he was teaching by his own example. So in all our lines of acharyas, that is why the example given here in the order, that we should follow all the previous acharyas who are giving us this very intense guidance. And who's that for? For our benefit, not for their benefit. They have already reached the highest pinnacle of devotion. It's for you and me to learn from that. So this is the basic line. No frivolous activities. Okay? Alright, thank you very much. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavad Purana ki jai, Harinam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai, Jai Gaur Brahma.
His Holiness Atmanivedana Maharaj ki
Jai.